Everything about the 266th Pope, 266th even, seems to be newsworthy. What can we tell you about the 78-year-old Argentinian that hasn't already been said? From his stance on climate change, homosexuality, annulments, and ditching the pomp, circumstance, and red Prada slippers, to the common touch with his worldwide congregation and a Twitter account, we seem to know it all.
Pope Francis has been called a pontiff for these times. Who better to help us discuss a modern pope than a nun who seems to be cut from the same cloth? Sister Ana Martinez de Luco earned the moniker the street nun from her time doing good in the hood, not clutching a rosary, but turning cans into cash for hardworking Brooklynites in need. At Sure We Can, a bottle and can redemption center in East Williamsburg. Sister Ana, welcome back to BK Live.
Hello.
Hello.
It's my second time to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for those who didn't see you the first time, tell us what that means, Brooklyn's street nun. Where did that come from?
Well, it was just an anecdote. I think I was having friends in Penn Station, women who used to live literally in Penn Station. So one of the days I approached them, two of them, Virginia and Rose. And Virginia was a long-time acquaintance with me, so she knew that I was a nun, this. And it seems she was sharing that with Rose, an elderly in their 80s, most probably. Yeah. So Rose looked at me when I arrived, and she said, "That you are a nun?" I said, yeah, kind of. "What kind of nun are you?" I said, a street nun. And it sounds nice for me.
And it stuck.
So, yeah, no more questions. So.
Why was it so unbelievable? Because you don't wear...
Because I was living with them and sharing with them, and suddenly the other is telling that I am a nun, so it did not fit her parameters of being a nun. So.
Yeah, it's not the image that we usually have.
Well, we got to run him with a microphone, you're fine. So there's like those ideas that folks have about what a nun should be, and people have some very strong ideas as well about what a pope should be.
Yeah.
So how do you think that our guy Francis is sort of turning that on its head?
Yeah. A few months ago, they asked me the same question, more or less, and I said, why the Pope is so popular? I said, just because he's just normal. I mean, he's a normal pastor trying to be Jesus Christ on the earth. I mean, and because he's so normal, what a good pastor should be. Yeah. It seems it calls the attention to everybody around. So I think it's just he's being himself, following the spirit of Jesus, which makes him so popular. I mean, we were so used to other kind of figures.
Over there,
and much more like power, Vatican,
opulence.
Yeah, a kind of. So this time it's just Francis, the brother Francis, and he loves to be called like that. As simple as that.
Can I ask a question though? We were watching when he got off the plane, when he touched down here, and he got into his modest car and was driving around instead of the huge SUV and all that. And I was just thinking to myself, how much of that disseminates to the rest of the flock and the leaders? Like, is having a pope who keeps it so ground level transferring to the everyday folks? Or is everyone, all the other guys, still living more opulently, or just the whole like office culture now that the boss is different?
Yeah, I guess I'm not so sure how it is, but my impression is that those who were there in their administrative work and title figures like that, I think they remain there. Yeah. They may not be very comfortable with this figure of Francis saying, that is not our style. But I think those won't change much, because if they are like that, it's because they are like that, period. Yeah. What Francis have, for me, the effect is that the masses, which were far already from this hierarchical style, which it was not very attached or not very close to the masses and to the interest of the people. So he was able to say, oh, no, I am here. And this is our church, the church of the poor, the church of compassion, the church of welcoming, of inclusion. This is we. So the fact that the main representative, so to say, of the church says that and lives out of that, millions and millions feel like, oh yeah, we are that, because we felt like we were so far already.
Right.
And in fact, this is what we feel it was the correct way of feeling and being church. No? So
And does it have an impact for you on the street? I mean, being then on the ground, being the people in the work that you do you feel that message now more from the churches around you and the neighborhood and the community?
I will just tell an anecdote. The co-founder of Sure We Can, Eugene Gaston, is a man who had been most of his life on the streets, a canner, homeless, whatever. And he's not also Catholic. I mean, he grew up in the Baptist denomination. But the first time that Pope came out through that balcony to greet the people when he became a Pope, and the first thing that he said, please pray for me. He was so touched. He said, wow, he says the same that I say. I need people to pray for me. And the Pope says exactly the same. So he feels so close to him. And so in these days, he was so enthusiastic. Anna, on the 25th, don't count with me. I will be the whole day on Manhattan. No one of us had tickets.
Right.
So I will be in some corner somewhere. I have to see the Pope, like a child with Santa Claus wars. She was really... So yesterday, a friend of us came with a ticket that somebody gave, a special ticket for her. She's an Argentinian, Rita. So she was offering to me as a very special gift. Anna, and I have a ticket for you, please, please. I said, you know, if there is a ticket, the one who has to go is Eugene, because he's dying to see the Pope.
Oh,
so this morning, I mean, he had the ticket, and tomorrow this morning also he was planning at what time he has to leave, this and this. And I mean, he said, I never had been interested for any Pope in the church,
like the
and even the Catholic. And now I am so enthusiastic about this man who seems to be so close to me and so close to the people. So, and that is just one example, no? But I can see that he had impregnated the people in the ground so nicely and so simple. I mean,
did he take the ticket? Did he go?
oh yeah, he's going tomorrow.
He's going,
to the
okay.
Central Park.
It's on Craigslist right
wow,
now.
at what time? He's crazy
that's
going.
amazing.
Yes.
So, Sister, the last time you were here, we were talking about the canners and the Redemption Center, and you guys were up against the sort of brick wall about whether you were going to stay in the space. Update us as to what's happening now while everybody has all this goodwill and they're reaching in their pockets for $3,000 tickets to stand on the lawn.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are in the same situation. The owner believes that we could find a way to secure the lot, and because they believe, we believe, and the money is not there.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who came, yes, how can we do a capital campaign? How can we do this? How can we develop the social media? So we are encouraged and helped by so many ideas and so many goodwill people, and with the great hope that somewhere, somehow, it will be a community land trust who acquire the land for the good of the community. I mean, there is no need really that Sure We Can owns the land, but just that it could continue serve the community and use for the community.
Do you get any funding from the church for the organization?
We did not ever get. But this year, because there was an article in New York Times last June.
And you were on BK Live.
Right, and maybe with the new Pope?
Yeah, and so Monsignor Sullivan, who is in charge of the Catholic Charities, invited me for a radio show. So he knew about us, he promised to visit us. And yeah, we hope that the church will contribute something,
Come on, Frankie, baby, you're in town. Give us some money.
Because he's so outspoken about the way the church has been organized in the past, do you feel like that gives you on the ground more of a voice to speak up and kind of be heard by the church here?
Yeah. At least you get a different position, I will say. No, like when you feel like people will look at you as you are wrong and this, so you keep silence. You don't think it is true, but at least you have to keep silence. But when you have a pope that back you so much, and as you said, you empathize with him so much from the heart, so you feel like, I mean, you have the right to talk and the right to tell your brother and sister in the church that, well, he's reminding us that we have to, I mean, like just declaring the next year is the year of mercy. And all these things are so meaningful for me, no? Like, we are just like that, mercy, compassion, acceptance, openness, and walking together. And that is so refreshing and so, I mean, so life-giving, a simple, yes.
So looking at this year of mercy you're already excited about, what do you think the lasting impact or legacy of this papal visit is going to mean in Brooklyn and New York and for people here who got to witness and touch the Pope?
Yeah, I guess the media are already saying that many people who felt already like,
disconnected or
we cannot be of that church and it's too much and it's too much. They regain interest and she said, oh yeah, this is our church and we like to be part of it. I mean, that kind of new belongingness or new recovery that is good to be a Catholic. I mean, it's nothing shameful to be a Catholic, no? That is one of the things that I think we have already recovered, in that sense that also the Pope is attractive for people who are not Catholic, and there are so many people who value him in politics, in many other spheres. And the third thing is that, as I said, we won't be quarreling. I mean, we tend to put, especially politics, but like in this issue about abortion, about homosexuality, about this, about that, as if we are backed by the whole church, that this should not be, but a lot of other issues we don't care, which are very essential to our life, but we don't care. So we take like the church is in our part when we talk about this. I think that is already totally removed. If you live in a way that you allow human beings to live in dignity, in justice, in peace, in freedom, you are good. And if you are not do that, don't claim any other thing. You are not, period. So I think it's a kind of clarification. When do you think I'm better than you and this and this? Or when, well, I am what I am. And it makes a lot of easy way of looking at things.
Yeah, he said, who am I to criticize?
Yeah, yeah, that is it, yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing that perspective. If you got an extra ticket, take it off of Craigslist right now. Get in touch with us. We know someone who needs the hookup.
Who needs it?
Yeah.